to the Palestra. I'm Carl Churkin along with Sonny Hill. The Public League Championships continue. Engineering and Science will take on Simon Gratz in the boys' final coming up in just a little bit. We have seen an excellent game here in the girls' championship, Sonny, and of course we expect the same. And the beauty, I think, of this Simon Gratz program will start with them. It is, in fact, that they are a real family.
Yeah, and the thing about Simon Gratz is that they've been around for a long period of time. And the other beautiful thing about what Gratz has done as far as a family is concerned is that they built on it as each year has gone by.
We're talking about families. We had a real family outing here. You saw the heroics of Kelly Greer. She did a great job in the first game. Her big brother, Lynn Greer, is getting ready to play in the championship game. A brother and sister on the fast track to success. Let's take a look. They are inseparable, the Greers of engineering and science. Just talk to them, and you realize they have so much more in common than just a last name.
I've always had to look out for her. I mean, anywhere I go, she usually tries to go with me. It's like she's always in my pocket. Everywhere I look, she's right with me. So, I mean, it's been tough looking out for myself and for her.
It's beneficial to me for him looking out for me, but at the same time, I look out for him. Watch out, make sure none of the girls, get in his way, and make sure he has his head on straight because he has a lot going for him. So it's kind of like a 50-50.
They finish a game, they're done with practice, and they head for home. Even there, most of the conversation is about basketball.
90% of the time, she always wants us to watch her tapes of the games. My father and I tell her what she does wrong to improve her on the next game. So 90% of the time, she tells me what I did good and what I did bad. I mean, that's what we need, somebody to help us on our mistakes.
Basketball is one thing that our whole family can relate with, even my mom, because she's a big basketball fan. So that's the one thing that we all can relate about without excluding the other one. Basketball is basically one thing.
Lynn is a year older than his baby sister and has dreams of playing in the NBA one day. If he makes it there, guess who wants to tag along?
I want to be that side coach for Lynn when he goes on to college, or if he proceeds to being in the NBA, which is a dream. So if it does go as far as I want it to, then it should be a good percentage of what we do as far as relationship-wise.
All our life has been together. Hope nothing ever separates us.
Two incredibly poised young men and women, of course. We're talking about the Greers. And Sonny, I saw Lynn at about 11:40 this morning coming out already dressed for this game he's about to play with a camera in hand, ready to take pictures of his sister Kelly.
Well, that's a part of what the Greer family is all about. Even Dad walks around with that camera. And when you've been fortunate like I have, to been around the Greers for so long, I had his father when his father was at Edison and coming through. I have his son, Lynn Jr. And Kelly, she's a big part of what happens in the Sunny Hill League and the Big League. She keeps score all the time. So the Greers are always around.
And we will see another one of those Greers, Lynn Greer Jr., in just a little bit. Coming up right after this break, we will hear from Bill Perry, Mark Narducci, and the one and only Ted Solari as we get into our round table, little round ball coming up right after this.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Penn's Palestra for the Boys Public League Basketball Championship, featuring the visiting engineers of engineering and science and the home team from 18th and Hunting Park, the Gratz Bulldogs. All right, first I'm going to announce the starting lineups for engineering and science. A 5'9" junior, number 10, William Chavis. A 6'2" senior guard, number 14, Lynn Greer. 5'11" senior guard, number 20, Jamal Hawthorne. A 6'6" senior forward, number 34, Elijah Warner. And a 6'7" senior center, number 41, Zachariah Willis. Engineering Science is coached by Mr. Charles C.M. Brown. And now for the home team in white, the Simon Gratz Bulldogs. A 6'6" senior guard, number 3, Jarett Kearse. A 6'4" senior forward, Marvin O'Connor. A 6-foot junior guard, number 12, Corey McKee. A 6'7" senior center, number 40, Shati Cooks. And a senior 6'8" forward, Steve Kennedy, number 44. Simon Gratz is coached by Mr. Bill Ellerby and assisted by Nate Smeagol.
Where you really, which team is going to come out and play their style. I would think that because Gratz has so much experience, not only in the public league, but the games that they play around the country, they are one of the marquee high school teams in the country. So that experience should help them early in the ball game.
You can see Simon Gratz at 23-5. Beat Southern, then beat Dobbins. Last week in the semifinals here at the Palestra, they beat a very athletic Strawberry Mansion club by 16 points. They have beaten their opposition by an average of 25. Engineering and Science, with a record of 24-3, has beaten their opponents here in the playoffs by an average of 20 points. So you can see that these two teams certainly have earned their way into this final this afternoon.
Well, I would think that both of them, the big C is there, that's confidence, but the bigger C has to be with Gratz because of the years of experience and the fact that they have played the kind of schedule throughout the year that has allowed them to be a dominant team.
Jeffrey Clark about to toss it up. Willis and Kennedy on the jump. It's controlled by Greer. Gets his first shot off in just 4 seconds.
And that's, for me, that's not a good shot for Engineering Science because that makes for a faster paced game. I think they have to be a lot more selective when they shoot the ball.
Kearse pitches out to McKee. McKee hard with that jumper. Kennedy toying with it, but it's pulled down by number 34, Elijah Warner. That's William Chavis with the basketball, the point guard. Also a 3.7 grade point average.
Key matchup right now is McKee against Lynn Greer.
And that's the one they want. They want Corey McKee to cover Lynn Greer to leave Kearse and O'Connor available to play offense. As you see O'Connor going hard to the hoop. Steve Kennedy there for the putback.
Fast break and then the strong rebounding. That's what we talked about. That's Gratz's strong suit.
Jameel Hawthorne pitches it out over to Chavis. Chavis had a jumper, pitches it back to Hawthorne. Short with that jumper, pulled down by Warner. Warner back up, off the rim, tipped by Kennedy, whose nickname is Monster, and as you can see why. And there's a foul called on the play. It's against Engineering and Science.
Now, what Engineering and Science has to be concerned about early in the ball game is that they don't lose their confidence and they get into a situation where they take ill-advised shots and let Gratz build a big lead early in the ball game.
As you could see from that graphic a moment ago, that graphic indicating that these two teams did in fact meet in the season opener. And Gratz beat them by 19 points. Jarett Kearse with the miss. Lynn Greer with the basketball to Chavis. Up for a three-pointer, again, long.
And again, a quick shot. That does not work to the advantage of Engineering Science. That certainly is the way that Gratz would like for them to play.
How about nerves, Sonny? That play a role?
Nerves have a lot to do with it, but see, you can set your nerves down when you begin to play your style of ball as opposed to not playing the ball that you want to play.
Willis with the basketball in the low post, pitches back to Hawthorne. Kennedy gets his hands on it. Gratz looking to run. Kearse taking it in, fouled by Warner.
And on that last one, you see a good opportunity for the step in for the steal. And again, Gratz utilizing that to get out on the break, which is what they're comfortable with. And when Kearse and Marvin O'Connor have the ball, they have an opportunity to make whatever decision they want, shoot it or pass it.
Bill Ellerby, the head coach of the Gratz Bulldogs, not missing an opportunity.
Here he is. Kearse driving up the floor, recognize that pressure's there, does the right thing, goes right to the defensive player. So if the shot is missed, he's got a chance to go to the foul line. He made 2 foul shots.
4-0 Gratz. 1:10 into it. The boys' Public League Championship game.
And notice Gratz changed it up, went to some full court pressure. Now they've dropped back into a zone. They started out early with a little individual man-to-man pressure.
Greer drawing a lot of attention from Kearse and O'Connor at the top of the circle. Pitches inside. Warner decides to go back out to Hawthorne for 3.
Big shot, not just because it went, but because they needed to get on the board so they could settle down a little bit.
Nothing better to do it than with a 3-point goal. Kearse, watched by Hawthorne. Spins down the lane and in.
Great individual dribbling, tremendous ability to use your body and then use the 6'6" size to get to the rim.
Greer with a change of pace goes to the opposite hand, down the lane and in. 6'5", engineering and science, trails Gratz by a point.
Now that's what Lynn Greer is very good at, slashing to the basket and either scoring or picking up fouls.
O'Connor takes the baseline route to the basket but can't convert. Engineering and science with a chance to go in front. Kearse with the steal. Gratz coming back in a hurry. Behind the back. Kennedy once again on the boards there. Steve Kennedy is a role player, Sonny. Here's a guy who knows what he can do for this team, and he does it willingly.
And the key to that is, as you just said, Kennedy does not get a lot of touches. In fact, last week when they played, he had about 5 touches. That's not rebounding now. That's just when they throw it in. But the thing is, he's nuts and bolts. And every good team needs a player like him who will do the dirty work and stay in their role, and that's what he does.
Well, that's why he gets so many rebounds. 12 last week against Strawberry Mansion in the semifinals, because if they're not going to give him the ball, he's got to go get it himself.
Well, if you're not going to get it to me by passing, I'll go get it off the boards.
Keep him hungry. Rattles the first one home. Bill Ellerby, one of the best high school coaches, bar none, I say that without qualification, in the entire country. The Gratz program, well respected everywhere.
What Bill has been able to do at Gratz over the years he's been there is phenomenal. This was not a basketball traditional school per se, and he's built it into one of the best in the country, as you said, Carl.
In the last 15 years, I can't imagine too many being better. Dunbar down at Washington,
D.C. They can talk about
him,
but Gratz is right there in terms of everything.
Greer takes a jumper with McKee in his face, and he drew the foul. That's a 3-shot foul.
Well, see, there's no reason to foul Greer that far out from the basket. But see, that's when you're playing with emotion and you haven't really calmed down to get yourself in the game. And that's where McKee took an ill-advised foul, and now you're letting Lynn Greer do something he's very good at. Very good foul shooter, and he's comfortable when he gets to the foul line.
Misses the first. In talking to Bill Ellerby about Kari McKee, and yes, we'll answer the question that many people have at home right now. He is in fact related to Aaron McKee, who played at Simon Gratz, now with the Detroit Pistons. Recent trade sent him from Portland to Detroit. But Kari McKee is a tremendous athlete, tremendous intensity, but that hurts him on the offensive end, according to Coach Ellerby. He can't pull it back.
Second foul shot is missed by Greer, but that's all about growing up. Next year, when he's a senior, he'll be in a position where he will have a key role with this Gratz team.
Well, Lynn Greer missing a key opportunity to put his team in front. Gratz still holding on to a 1-point lead, just about 4 minutes into the first quarter. McKee, the fall away, can't get it to go. Meatball cooks off the glass and down. And he'll shoot another one.
But that's the rebounding that we talked about earlier, Carl. We said the keys were trying to be able to keep the Gratz team off the boards. Shante Cooks goes up strong, and again, what he does that's so good is that when he got the offensive rebound, he went back into the defensive player, so that if he missed it, he would have a foul. He made it, so he's got the best of all worlds. He's got 3 coming.
6'8", 235 pounds worth of Shante Cooks will head to play for Fang Mitchell next year at Coppin State. He converts the 3-point play. We'll be back with more at these Nike Public League Championships. Gratz leads it 10-6. Midway through the first quarter, Gratz leads Engineering and Science. We talked about 3 first-team all-public players, Kearse, O'Connor, and Greer at the outset. Kearse with 4, O'Connor with a donut so far for Gratz. Lynn Greer, 3 points on 1 for 4 shooting for E&S.
And Gratz again comes out and mixes up his defense, full court pressure, just to change the look around.
That's Jameel Hawthorne, good from 3-point land to bring Engineering Science
now, see,
within 1.
That helps Engineering Science because somebody else is picking up the scoring. So when they concentrate on Lynn Greer and they leave Hawthorne open, he's delivering.
Hawthorne 2 for 2 from 3-point land so far.
Marvin O'Connor with a nice shot from the corner.
Greer to the hoop, off the glass and down. He'll try and do a 3-point play the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, but the key is Greer in transition, getting to the basket, which he's comfortable at. He's a slasher first, jump shooter second, has improved his shot that way. Notice how he gets to the basket, but not only gets there, but he finishes, and now he has a chance for the 3-point play.
And does not get it. The key there, too, between the 2 big guys, 6'8" and 6'7". Little 6'2" Lynn Greer slices and gets it.
Well, the thing is, quickness offset size. Always remember that call.
I'll remember that, son. Kearse misses. Chavis wants to run, now pulls it back.
Good decision. Because what you want to do is to get the game into a more controlled game.
Now O'Connor is on Greer. Hangs in midair and doesn't get it. Cooks pulls down the rebound. Kearse looks to run.
On a play like that, Lynn's got to look for a way to drop that off because they're really putting 3 and 4 guys on him. Once he went to the middle, the whole defense collapsed. Got to find somebody open.
Number 24, Julian Blake, has come in for E&S, and here comes John Cox.
The third. Chubby Cox's son. The nephew, the cousin of Kobe Bryant.
We're talking pedigree here.
And now we're talking about one of the keys to the game because John Cox III can play. He's a sophomore. Last week when he played, he was 4 for 5 from the field.
Look for him to shoot from distance, number 42 in the dark jersey. Right now, you got number 3 with the ball. Over to number 11, O'Connor. Cannot hit, but Cooks with a strong rebound in the paint. And E&S is going to have to do something about the big people, Kennedy and Cooks.
Got to find a way to block them off because they're just too strong for Engineering Science off the boards.
Chavis down the lane. Off the glass and down.
Now see, that play is there because the defense is always overcompensating for Lynn Greer, so other players have a chance to pick that up.
Lynn Greer has scored 52% of his team's points here in the postseason in 3 games, averaging almost 40 per game.
Can you believe Kennedy got a touch? And he said, I'm shooting it.
He was so shocked he decided to shoot. Chavis pulls up, tries the glass but won't go, and Kearse, that's McKee.
Let's see. Engineering Science has to get back fast. They didn't get back. They gave up an easy shot. Luckily, it was missed.
O'Connor taking it hard to the rack. Doesn't get the foul nor the basket. Greer taking it.
There's the pass.
Has a man open. This time he uses the window and down.
See, he brought 3 guys to him. Left open a player. Nice pass. Nice shot.
Kearse and O'Connor, the 2 Division I, not prospects, but signees. And then you see the first lead of this game for E&S at 15-14. Kearse and O'Connor just 2 of 9 from the floor.
And as the other Division I player going to Coppin State, Shante Cooks just missed the shot.
Greer pulls up, short on the jumper. Kearse with the rebound. Looks for his running mate, O'Connor. Pulls up. Bad rotation on that ball.
What I don't like about the three-point line, he had a chance to move in and get a little easier shot, but he settled for the three-point shot as opposed to settling for the best shot.
Odds are this will change. You see Marvin O'Connor seemingly uncertain with that shot. I didn't like the rotation on that last one.
It came out a little ugly.
Kennedy with the rebound. As ENS continues to lead with 4 seconds left. Kearse slashes through and scores and beats the buzzer by a split second. 16-15 now the score at the end of the first quarter.
Oh, and also the emotion that's involved, the adrenaline that's flowing. It just saps it out of you, and that works to Gratz's advantage because they have more depth. And right now, we want to look at the second quarter because this is when fatigue and depth should be in Gratz's favor.
O'Connor with the ball back to Kearse. To see on the right wing, you will see number 10, Rasheem Sims. In the paint there, number 33, Sherrod Carroll. 2 new players in for Gratz as they try and move some people in this lineup to keep them fresh. O'Connor on the wing.
Gratz right now only has 2 offensive players on the floor. They have Kearse and O'Connor. Everybody else is a role player, so what Ellaby's trying to do is to steal a few minutes, put this crew out on the floor until his other offensive players can get back.
Jarett Kearse, a 6'6" point guard who will be taking his considerable talents to West Virginia next fall.
And should be an outstanding player for West Virginia.
Greer from distance, in and out. Warner with the rebound, and good.
That's a big play there. You need to be able to get some offensive rebounds. Warner picks up a key one right there, which just keeps engineering science mentally in the ball game as well as score-wise in the ball game.
Gratz by a point. Just about a minute and a half into the second quarter. O'Connor pulls up. Again, strong off the iron. Kennedy with the putback.
Rebounding again. That's the 3rd or 4th score that Gratz has had off of offensive rebounds.
O'Connor with a neat move and a nifty pass, but Carroll misses the layup. Sherrod Carroll had an easy layup, and you see Jarett Kearse doesn't necessarily get in his face there, but he says, come on, concentrate, make that shot.
But see, Carroll coming in as a sub, I talked about it earlier. He's a little emotional. He had an easy layup, but he just wasn't comfortable.
And he, in his own right, is a very talented player. An all-star last year at the prestigious five-star all-star camp.
Well, what happens is everything is in perspective. You're now playing for the Public League Championship. Don't forget, Gratz has been stopped here for the last few years, so there's even more pressure on them in terms of delivering, because for the seniors, it's the last chance to do it.
And he is a sophomore. You saw Bill Ellerby's wonderful record at Gratz. 2 minutes in to the second quarter. Hawthorne 2 for 2 from three-point land. Misses on his 3rd attempt. Gratz by 3. Rasheem Sims back to Kearse. Over the half-court line. Kennedy thus far with 5 rebounds. As Rasheem Sims studies and misses. O'Connor the putback, no good. Kennedy.
To see them up on the boards. We've seen it from the beginning. It'll get worse in the second quarter because the fatigue factor is there. So this works even more to Gratz's advantage. And here's a turnover that engineering science cannot afford to have.
Charles C.M. Brown played at Central High School in his 17th season at ENS.
Yeah, but you got to also
put it back in play here,
that
Senator.
you know Coach Brown, Charlie Brown, is a sprinter of the oldies on WHAT. I mean, he's a master with playing that, so he's got to play some oldies out here to get his team in sync.
Kearse to the hoop, off the glass, no good. Kennedy, another rebound, misses the putback. That time, Marvin O'Connor gets it to go.
Charlie Brown's got to take a timeout because his team is just not able to control the defensive glass where Gratz is controlling the offensive glass.
Kearse and O'Connor, 57% of their team's points in the playoffs. Not today. They're getting a lot of help from Kennedy. John Cox misses on the runner.
That's a good ball for engineering science to pick up. They need a score just to keep them in the game.
Cox gave up a 3. The steal by Carroll in the open floor. Jarett Carroll gets it to go down, and there's that timeout you called for, Sonny. 4:31 remaining to be played here in the second quarter. Gratz on a run. They lead it 26-17.
Welcome back to the Palestra, where here in the second quarter, Gratz leads ENS 26-17. Earlier today in the girls' half of this doubleheader, it was ENS emerging victorious thanks in large part to Kelly Greer. She scored 19 points, also pulled down 6 boards. Right now, her brother Lynn and the Engineers boys team trailing. Let's go back courtside to Carl Churkin in Sunny Hill.
Thank you, John. They, in fact, trailed 26-17. As you see, Lynn Greer just 2 of 8 from the field for 5 points. Gratz in the midst of an 8-0 run, Sonny. And let's talk a little bit about that fatigue factor.
Well, you could see that coming. Both teams were really exhausted at the end of the first quarter. Gratz having more depth and players that could step in. And also the rebounding has been stronger for Gratz.
Hold on the play. So we'll reset with 4:19 remaining here in the second quarter. Lynn Greer to inbound.
Now, Lynn Greer, what he has to do now, he can't get caught up in the emotion of the game. He's 2 for 8. He's struggling offensively. But what you got to do is you got to pick your spots. Make sure you're making the right decision, right shot selection, the right penetration to drop off. He must become more of a team leader in this situation than even if he was hitting his shots.
Greer inbounds to Chavis. He's watched by McKee. Calls out the play. It's thumbs down. So he isolates one-on-one.
Yep.
Sims goes down, but Greer can't take advantage. Hawthorne getting watched there. Blocked by Jarett Carroll, who can just flat out get up.
Now, see, they can reset, which was good. Lynn Greer did that. He's running his ball club, and that's good.
See him splash, hesitate. The rebound there shared jointly by Carroll and number 41, Zach Willis.
Also, what you're going to find right now is that Gratz is going to start rotating some of the players that came out earlier back in the ball game, which will give them even more strength as 3:44 to go in the second quarter.
Well, the score is still 26-17. Gratz still in the midst of an 8-0 run, even though there have been a couple changes of possession, Sonny. And, you know, we talked about those 3 key players. We mentioned that Greer's had his problems. O'Connor just 2 of 8 from the field. Kearse 3 of 7 for 8 points. Collectively, these 3 very high-quality players, 7 for 23. You see the Gratz Bulldogs huddle. 1939, they won their first public league championship, but went 51 years to 1990 before they won their next one. What happened there?
Sounded like it was around the time that Zach Clayton was playing there. You remember Zach Clayton, the referee?
I do.
In boxing? Also played for the Wrens, one of the greatest teams ever assembled, the New York Wrens. Played with the Globetrotters. Also played professional baseball in the Negro League. And he was one of the first blacks in the fire department and rose to a very high position there. He went to Gratz, so that's right after the time, I think, that Zach Clayton was there. So he might have been a part of that 1939 history.
You can see the Engineers have outscored their playoff opponents by 20 points per game, but now they trail by 9. What's given?
Defense by Gratz. They've been able to stop Lynn Greer, and the strong rebounding by Gratz.
10-2, ENS has been outscored here thus far in the second quarter. It's about halfway through as Greer triggers it to William Chavis. Watched by McKee, decides to give it up to Cox.
They've got to find somebody else to help out offensively for Engineering Science.
Greer was open on the wing, but Chavis didn't get it to him soon enough. That's deflected by Rasheem Sims. Jarett Kearse goes and protects the ball nicely, takes it to the hoop, but can't get it to go.
That was an opportunity to drop that off. All they had to do was stop. He had open guys on both sides. He went too far and closed off the passing lanes and then was forced to take that shot.
Chavis very much the point guard, trying to set things up and run things. But Lynn Greer feels challenged. Chavis open, can't make it. It appears that Lynn looks to me like he wants to deal with this challenge, and he'd better get back in the system that Coach Brown has determined.
Well, the key is they're shutting him off. He's got to find the other players, and then they have to deliver. Good steal.
ENS has gone about 6 minutes without a basket. Chavis over to Jameel Hawthorne, who had those 2 threes in the first quarter. Tries to get the runner up, off the front iron and down.
Yep. That's a turnover. Turnover. Gratz turned the ball over. But the key to what Gratz is doing is that they're playing tremendous team defense. When you beat one player, the second and third players are stepping up, and they are denying good shots.
You see Sherrod Carroll going for the ball.
Just could not control it.
That's
That's what they call a unforced turnover, because really there was nobody there to force the turnover.
Greer steps back, tries to get a little space, but Rasheem Sims all over him. Warner wheeling and dealing.
Good score for them. They needed that.
Now Cooks looking incredulously there. Can't imagine why there was a foul. He seemed to have his arms up. Why was there a foul?
Because he said to McKee, I thought you were going to be there. Don't forget they were playing team defense. In team defense, you are in a position where you say, I denied the baseline, but nobody helped me when he came back. And when I saw nobody there, I went back and he got to the baseline.
Elijah Warner with the three-point play, the first points here for Elijah Warner in the second quarter. He had those 27 rebounds you may have seen on that graphic a moment ago against Germantown. But last week in the semifinals, 11 of his 17 points in a fourth quarter run that helped Engineering and Science get to this game.
And Engineering and Science with the low four-court pressure to try to slow Gratz down a little bit. Don't let him get into their set offense.
All due respect, I don't think it's going to bother that young man. Jarett Kearse, who is 6'6", is a lot bigger than the people who are trying to play him.
Well, that's the advantage that he'll have even when he goes to the next level.
Sure.
One, at 6'6", he can see over many of the shorter players that are playing him on the perimeter. And at 6'6", he has the ability to put the ball on the floor. He reminds me a lot of Jalen Rose, who played at Michigan and is now playing with the Indiana Pacers in the NBA, that kind of a player.
3 fouls on Zach Willis, so he's got a bit of a problem. So does Engineering and Science. You see Marvin O'Connor, who's not shot particularly well thus far. But one of the great things about this young man is not only his poise, but his toughness. And that's the great thing that Steve Lapis, the head coach of Villanova, is looking for him to bring into his program.
There's a nice long jump shot for Lynn Greer. But the thing with Marvin O'Connor and also Jarett Kearse is that with this team, they can afford to miss early because they get the offensive rebounds. You know at some time in the ball game, they're going to hit a period where they're going to hit 2 or 3 shots, and that's when they will explode.
Shatique Cooks just muscling it in.
Now we're seeing Gratz more in this game go inside than any of the other games, and the reason is the outside shots are not going, so they're smart enough to say, let's throw it inside.
And Willis, with those 3 fouls, is going out. You lose a guy who's 6'7", a good 225 pounds, and is replaced by a 6'1" senior in Julian Blake, so he certainly doesn't have the meat to push up against Meatball.
Well, Meatball has shown that in this ball game that he is a force inside, and when they deliver the ball, he's been able to score the baskets.
Blake to Lynn Greer.
There you go.
Hits his first 3 of the game. Lynn Greer now 3 of 12 from the field.
And the question is, why? For one of the few times in the ball game, he had a good look. So he was able to rub the defense off and get a good look and make the shot.
O'Connor playing the low post. Looking to get it back to Kearse.
That was a nice double by Engineering and Science, and Marvin O'Connor made a mistake. He tried to jump out of the trap, didn't have anybody to pass to, and he was lucky that the ball went off of Engineering and Science.
Kearse looks for O'Connor as he takes him hard to the hoop. And he'll draw a couple of free throws with 36 seconds remaining to be played here in the first half. We talked about the toughness, Sonny. One of the things, we digress a bit, those Villanova Wildcats have not had in this year's edition is a mental toughness that this young man brings.
Well, he brings a street toughness, too, because he's from South Philadelphia High School. South Philadelphia. He has matriculated to Gratz. First foul shot is missed. But he brings that street toughness that will help a program like Villanova. And he should really be able to be a real asset to what Coach Steve Lapis is doing with that ball club.
And he brings intellect as well. He's got over 1,000 in the boards. He's ready to go academically as well as athletically. He will step in and I believe help Villanova straight away. Right now, Steve Lapis, I am told, will in fact join us at halftime.
Oh, how nice. And also last year at this time, Fran Dunphy was one of the people that thought that he was going to get on Marvin O'Connor because Marvin was academically eligible to go to University of Pennsylvania.
Julian Blake with the basket. A 6-point game now.
And who made the drop-off? The drop-off was from Lynn Greer. As the defense pinched him, he found the open man.
Rasheem Sims, cross court to McKee. Actually, it is now number 22 in the game, Purcell Coles. Kearse slashing, can't get it to go, but Cooks never brings it down below his head.
The rebounding is all the difference in the world in this ball game. Kearse has not shot well, O'Connor has not shot well, but the rebounding offensively has helped Gratz to have this lead 33-25.
Bill Ellerby walks off with the lead, an 8-point lead, 33-25, as you see some of the crowd of about 6,000 or 7,000 here at the Palestra for this Boys and Girls Championship Sunday here on Fox Philadelphia. I'm Carl Churkin along with Sonny Hill. John Miller will be along momentarily to take us through the halftime. Once again, the score, Simon Gratz, 33, Engineering and Science, 25.
Kelly Greer, the Nike player of the game in the girls game. Kelly, phenomenal day for you. What's your thoughts right now on your brother Lynn?
I'm just hoping that he goes out and plays this game. Right now, he seems to be struggling a little bit, but I know he can pull through, and I just hope that he can get it. As far as winning, I know they can win as long as they play together, and that's all I'm really thinking about.
They need to take a page from your book and come back a little bit.
Yeah. I hope that they just play their game and stick together. As long as they play team ball, they shouldn't have any problems.
Would that be your advice to him at halftime? Play your own game?
Just not. I think that he should pull up on his jump shot a little more because I know he has that jump shot, and I think that's what he should do. He's not really getting as many fouls by going to the lane a little bit, so I think he should pull up his jump shot because last time he got 14 for 16 or something, so I think he should pull up his jump.
Lynn Greer's biggest fan. Let's talk a little bit about your victory here this afternoon. You guys were down 10. You said you never had any qualms at that point. You had no concern. You knew you were coming back.
Yeah, last couple games, we knew we had to pull up. Last couple games, we've been down at halftime with more than 8. So that was our smallest margin at halftime for this game. And we knew we had to win. And our coach told us that he didn't want to have any more gray hairs. So we wanted us to have a good lead by the end of the game so we could get the bench to come in. And that was kind of crucial at the end. We got a chance to put our bench in the last couple minutes.
Tell me real quickly about Sheena Dixon. She did a great job with the ball today for you guys, and especially defensively against Mahalia Smith.
Sheena, she's very quick. And we knew that if she played a good defensive game, her offense is going to pull through. So as long as she played her defense, and she's very quick. And as you saw, she had a good number of steals, and she has a very high jumping capability. So.
All right, Kelly, thanks for joining us here at halftime of the Boys Nike Public League Championship game. We are at halftime right now, and Kelly's brother Lynn and the Engineering and Science Engineers trailing by 8.
Gratz wants to sustain and improve its outside shooting call, which you were talking about with Jarett Kearse and also Marvin O'Connor. I'm quite sure that Bill Ellerby has spoke to his team about that. Engineering and Science, they want to be able to pick it up a little bit. They need to rebound better, and they need to find a way for Lynn Greer to be able to get into the offense more.
After all the bad luck Bill Ellerby has had in these championship finals the last few years, he looks very, very serious about this one.
It's not over till it's over.
Absolutely.
And they're rebounding again.
Steve Kennedy took the initial shot, missed it, tries to come in, but cannot do anything with it. An easy basket for Zach Willis. All he has to do is take that basket to the hoop.
But not a good pass, because you got to recognize who you're running with. If the big man does not have the ability to catch it and put it on the floor, you must hold it until the last minute to give it to him.
It appears both teams with their starters back on the floor to start the second half as Kearse pulls up and misses. But O'Connor puts it back up. So Marvin O'Connor, normally a wing player, Sonny, playing down in the slot a lot.
Yeah, but Marvin has the ability at this level to play all over the floor.
Sure.
He's a 6'3" player with tremendous athletic ability, and he is going to be able to do that same kind of thing for Villanova and the Big East. Because even though he's a wing player, he has the ability to go to the glass offensively and defensively.
Bill Ellerby delivering the lecture to Pete Cooks as we take a look at that play one more time.
Notice how he gets inside. Good position by Marvin O'Connor and good strength as he held his position to get the offensive rebound and the score.
Greer with the basketball on the wing. Chavis at the point. But Greer just takes it. Another bad decision, Sonny.
Yeah, a little quick. The shots should be a little more selective.
Yeah, that shot's available.
That's anytime.
Exactly.
So you want to be able to get, there's another shot real quick. See, those kind of shots you can get almost anytime.
Cooks with the rebound, but he took a couple extra steps.
Because he's trying to do too much. All he has to do, he's a role player. Get the rebounds, and then get the rebounds, and throw the ball back out, and not worry about getting it and have to try to finish the play.
Shateed Cooks with 10 rebounds thus far for Gratz.
Gratz again into a zone. No, they're playing man-to-man. They're switching.
Now there's a good shot.
That's a good one. And
he caught it on the run. He had momentum.
And he rubbed his man off.
Right.
So he was open. That's the second time we've seen him get a good, clean look and make them.
Cooks.
That's the block Cooks wants to make.
To Kennedy, nice soft touch by Steve Kennedy.
Now what did Cooks do that time? He got it, didn't try to do anything special, got the ball to Kennedy, and the two inside guys almost never make a pass to one another. They get a score.
You can see the confrontation going on between number 12 and White and Lynn Greer. It's McKee going on Greer. Greer going on McKee.
It's a dunk. It's a dunk.
Marvin O'Connor. As I'm looking across the way, Steve Lapp is just smiling like the cat that just ate the bird.
See, he has the ability, Marvin O'Connor, to have dribbling and speed and ups. He showed it all.
You can see him smiling now. Warner in the paint, turns around. Off the rim, and O'Connor with the rebound to Kearse. Almost stolen away by Chavis. Marvin O'Connor now assumes the position at point.
Good decision.
Very good. Waited. Kearse with the jumper, no good. McKee the rebound. Takes it back up and in.
Offensive rebounding again, even the off play. Carl, you spoke last time about Marvin O'Connor coming up. Now we have McKee coming up with a long rebound. Gratz getting seconds and thirds. Engineering Science gets one shot.
Hawthorne, three. Off the rim and out.
That's the one shot we're talking about. They get no seconds. If they miss, it's all over for them.
Tari McKee scored his first 2 points the last trip down, tries to get another one, can't get it. O'Connor another rebound. But the possession arrow going the other way. Marvin O'Connor with a bit of a stinger there.
I think what happened, it hit that crazy bone a little bit. He's looking over to Coach Ellerby, but he doesn't want to come out. He really doesn't want to come out.
I don't know if it's an elbow or a shoulder, Sonny. Marvin O'Connor limps back to the bench in a lot of pain.
Yeah, but Coach Ellerby evidently knows what it's all about.
Give him a chance to regroup.
They're getting a timeout.
4:55 remaining to be played in the third quarter. Simon Gratz has opened up a 14-point lead, 41-27. I'm Carl Churkin along with Sonny Hill. John Miller roaming the court sideline.
When we're looking at the ball game right now, it's a 14-point difference. Now remember, Carl, we spoke about the fact that coming out in the second half, the first 3 to 5 minutes would be important. When we look at the first 3 to 5 minutes, Carl, it looks like to me that Gratz has continued to dominate more so in this half than even in the second quarter. So what you're looking at, and as Marvin O'Connor, he's getting some water. He's going to replenish himself, and he'll be back in the ball game. But what you're looking at is the dominance of the Gratz team rebounding and forcing their style of play.
What we're looking at is Steve Lapis and his assistant coach, Paul Hewitt, next to him.
Steve's not only going to be worried about this, he's got to be worried about the fact that on Wednesday, he's got to be in Madison Square Garden where the Big East is starting, and how far Villanova is going to go in the Big East and then into the NCAA tournament.
And come the middle of the week, this young man, Marvin O'Connor, will be thinking about that. But now he's got more important things on his mind, at least his immediate.
And Gratz again comes out with some full court pressure, not to steal the ball, but just to deter the offense and make the offense for engineering and science have a different look.
McKee meets Greer just over the midcourt line. Hawthorne, Chavis.
Got a second shot.
Greer.
There it is. That's the first time in the second half that they've gotten a second shot and Greer was able to score.
O'Connor pulls it up, takes the jump shot, hits the three-pointer, his first of this game.
Now, what you have to be concerned about is engineering science. If O'Connor and Kearse begin to shoot the ball well with a 15-point lead now, 4:12 to go in the third quarter, that's damaging.
E&S could be in trouble. John Cox comes off the bench to try and help.
That's that one and done.
As Kearse, the 6'6" point guard, pulls it down. O'Connor wants it. In and out. Shateed Cooks tries for the tip. He's called for going over the top.
Now see, Gratz with a 15-point lead. They don't need that quick shot right there. They could afford for that play to have a second or third pass because that shot is a shot that O'Connor and Kearse can get anytime.
Cooks goes out. He's in foul trouble. 44-29. We'll be back as we get ready to restart play. Take a look at Marvin O'Connor, who was injured, but...
Well, you're only injured if you don't make this shot. And once you make this shot, you say, wow, I got a three. And then along with that, all right, I told you I could shoot the ball out there. Yeah, Marvin O'Connor is an excellent outside shooter.
Lynn Greer frustrated thus far. Just 5 of 16 from the field for E&S. Not that he hasn't had a whole lot of attention.
They've been all over, and we knew that was going to be a key call coming into the ball game, that they were going to do everything they could to slow Lynn Greer down.
Greer, a little shake and bake, gets a little roll. The rim, not very kind, though. Jarett Carroll with the rebound to McKee. O'Connor wants it. Fakes. Blocked by Warner. Poised, though, is O'Connor. He pulls it back to Kearse. He drives. Can't get it to go.
Forcing shots.
Warner fighting 2 players, Sonny.
Yeah. See, those are forced shots. You don't need it. You got a 15-point lead. You can afford to come down the floor, use the clock, and also get a better shot selection.
Jarett Carroll at the free throw line. Hammered by Jameel Hawthorne. 3:12 remaining to be played here in the third quarter. Gratz leads it 44-29.
Now see, Gratz at this point is in a position to blow the game wide open. They could walk off at the end of 3 quarters with a 20-point plus lead, and then going into the fourth quarter, they should be in great shape.
O'Connor behind the back to Jarett Carroll.
Beautiful pre-designed play. Marvin O'Connor knew he was going to drop that pass off before he dribbled, and it was a beautiful read.
Foul on Kari McKee. 46-29.
This is a great individual play. Before he made the move, he knew he was going to drop it off because he knew the defense would come to him. Nice drop-off pass behind the back, but equally as good, the finish.
Carroll expected that pass, is right, Sonny. 46-29. Gratz leads it. Just under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Hawthorne open for 3. Short, and O'Connor with the rebound.
Now in the third quarter, Gratz has been able to control the defensive glass. Nice pass.
O'Connor to Kennedy for the fantastic finish.
Now, that's what I was talking about. Gratz could get better shots. They made a good decision on the fast break that time. Didn't look for it individually, look for it as a team.
The lead has swollen to 19 points. Greer, watched by Rasheem Sims now. Over to Hawthorne. He gives inside to John Cox. Kennedy clubs it away.
And Gratz is really playing great defense.
Warner with the rebound.
Oh, bad break.
Can't go. John Cox, who had a shot missed a moment ago. Timeout. I never liked this rule, but these kids, they do it in the NBA. They see it all the time.
They watch TV.
And Marvin O'Connor called timeout as he was going out of bounds. That seems to reward the player who's out of control.
Yeah, it's one of those kinds of things that has become vogue in basketball now. Gratz has been real good on the fast break. Here's a great pass from Jarett Kearse, touch pass from Marvin O'Connor to Kennedy, and Kennedy catches it and finishes it. And that's the way you're supposed to play when you have a big lead. You want to move the ball because the defense is certainly reacting to whoever has the ball.
Here's the play we spoke to you about a moment ago. You watch as Jarett Kearse slaps it. Marvin O'Connor jumps and calls timeout, where he's clearly out of control.
And you said that's the play you like?
I hate
that
play.
That's right. Well, guess what? I don't like it either. And I think somewhere along the line, they're going to make a rule that says that if you're out of control like that, you're not going to be able to take that time out. And it's one of those plays that now has become a big part. I'm going to tell you something else as a coach. You don't like it because it causes you to burn a timeout that later in the ball game you may need.
Bill Ellerby's Bulldogs have beaten their opponents. Lynn Greer continues to struggle, as we've shown you all through this broadcast. 5 for 18. They've outscored their opponents by 25, lead it now by 19. Jarett Kearse watched full court by Lynn Greer.
Now, engineering science has to find a way defensively to create some turnovers to give them some easy baskets.
A little confrontation. The Atlantic 10, the person. Actually, no,
and the Big East.
And the Big East.
That's right. West Virginia, who used to be in the Atlantic 10, Jarett Kearse.
That's what my hesitation was.
That's all right. I'm right here
you
with
saw that. You jumped right in there,
but
partner.
I know Atlantic 10 used to be West Virginia.
That's exactly right.
When Temple first went in with John Chaney, West Virginia used to dominate. Then Temple turned that around. So West Virginia's now in the Big East. So it's the Big East against the Atlantic 10. This time, Jarett Kearse makes 2 foul shots.
The lead now 50 to 29. 1:35 remaining. ENS with just 2 field goals here in the third quarter. Steve Kennedy having a great game for Gratz. A long shot by Greer, pulled down by Hawthorne. Chavis, the point guard, tries to reset, but nothing's available.
Now, what Gratz is doing now is they're playing strictly zone, which really gives them more of an opportunity to deny the outside shot.
Chavis breaks through, but Kennedy slaps it away. Steve Kennedy, 11 points, 8 rebounds, and a handful of blocks as well. O'Connor to the rack. Comes out. Carroll pulls it down, but can't control.
They want to do a center.
Kennedy.
They don't want to shoot the ball quick.
He's hot. Why not?
That's all right. But that offensive rebound, that time should be brought back out, because when you look at the clock, it's 52-29 Gratz, and time is something that you want to use to your advantage when you have the lead.
Well, you will not find a nicer young man on the planet.
See? Now that's another example. Here's a fast break, 34.9 seconds. You're leading 52-29, so you throw a pass over the top that goes out of bounds. You just don't need that play at this time.
Greer stops, pops, but can't get it to go. Sims and Warner fight for the rebound.
Simon Gratz now, number 44.
22 seconds remain here in the third quarter. ENS trailing by 23.
We talked in the first quarter about fatigue, and we've seen it more here in the third quarter.
Kearse coming over as Jameel Hawthorne drives to the basket. Still a Gratz player down on the floor as they collapsed on Jameel Hawthorne. Sherrod Carroll, number 33, is back up, though.
Now, I want you to see how active the defense. Look at this. 3 players from Gratz around the ball. This time, they picked up the foul. But previously, they've been blocking shots. They've been altering shots, and that has triggered the fast break, which has helped Gratz to build the lead that what they have right now.
Hawthorne will shoot 2. Folks, if you like what you're seeing here, how about the Public League All-Star doubleheader at Drexel University Thursday, March 13th. You can see some of these players, a lot of other of the seniors. It's a great showcase for a lot of the great talent in the Public League. The 22nd year the coaches have put on this All-Star game.
And it's a great way for the various colleges, junior college, community colleges, to come out and see some of the talent and find out if they have an opportunity to go to their school.
Kennedy looks inside. His pass intended for Carroll, knocked away. John Cox trying to save it, could not.
Well, you got to go after every loose ball if you're engineering science, because you have to get it done the old-fashioned way. You have to earn it with hard work.
8.4 seconds remain here in the third quarter. Purcell Coles to Kearse, knocked away by Warner. 2 seconds, 1. They won't get it off. Make me a liar. He did get it off, but it looked like it wouldn't have gone anyway because the buzzer had sounded. With the score, Simon Gratz, 52, Engineering and Science. We'll be back with the final quarter right after this.
And everybody's having fun, then defense becomes even more fun.
We want to say hello to John Wyatt at Fox Philadelphia, the man responsible for making sure these pictures are in sync here this afternoon. John, a true pioneer in the broadcasting industry, retiring after some 35 years. His final day on the job today. From all of us, John, at Fox Philadelphia, thank you very much for each and every day we've been working with you. 7:43 remaining. We're just underway here in the fourth quarter.
Engineering Science down 52-31, 21 points. They must maximize every time up the floor offensively, and they just threw the ball away. Just can't do that. You have to get a shot every time up the floor. And then the defense. So now, if you don't do it defensively, Gratz is going to be able to stretch the lead even further because they're going to be able to attack you through a poor defense.
There will be much better days ahead for Lynn Greer, who just threw that ball away. He'll be going to Temple University on a full ride. He'll play in John Chaney's system. A fine player, Sonny. A guy who can play John Chaney's system much better than he's played out here today.
Yes, and again, Gratz on the boards. Kennedy all over the boards. And we talked about that early. We talked about it throughout the contest, and we'll talk about it when we do the wrap-up. One of the keys has been the dominance of Gratz, and the players who normally don't play a strong role offensively, Kennedy and Cooks, they're the ones that have played a strong role in this championship game, Carl.
Steve Kennedy, who was perceived by everybody to be a role player, is playing the leading role today. 12 points and 10 rebounds. He's already got a double-double, and he has played just tremendous on the defensive end as well.
Well, he certainly has been one of the keys to this ball game for Gratz.
Greer taking it to the hole. Cox has it blocked. Warner with the putback. 53 to 33. 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter.
See, Engineering Science is too lax. They've got to be more aggressive. They cannot afford to have Gratz make 3 and 4 passes before
Sims to Carroll. Now, do we give that on the tip to Steve Kennedy?
I think like it was Carroll to me.
Well, Carroll put it up. It was hard to tell from this angle. He was just there. No tip, I'm told. That's official enough for me. The guys in the truck make all the calls.
Well, don't
forget,
the final. They also have replay. They have a replay.
So do we. And here it is.
All right, watch the play. Good, strong, up. Didn't touch it. Field goal. No touch.
Steve Kennedy comes over.
And he feels good about himself. Look at him. Nuts and bolts, baby.
His little weak throw. But
he said, I told you. But well, Ellaby never changes, you know. You know, if he's winning by 500, he's the same. If he's losing, he's always stoic. But you can bet inside he's not churning. He knows that this one, he's got a public high school championship.
6:28 remaining. Gratz appears to be in control as Lynn Greer watches Jarett Kearse full court.
See, you have to be able to attack. You can't let him just bring the ball to the floor. You have to attack whomever it is that has the ball. See, they're just playing passionate, not passionate, but they're just playing relaxed defense. They've got to get out and double and create some turnovers.
As they spread the floor, O'Connor.
There you go. There's your play.
O'Connor throws it away.
Got to score.
Davis knocked away by Rasheem Sims. Now, something we should point out here, Sonny. In the girls' game, some of you may have seen earlier, the girls' game, there is a shot clock. In the boys' game, there is not. So you'll see a little bit of four corners there by the Gratz Bulldogs as we go through the last 5:59.
Well, they want the girls' game to be faster. Here's a reach in defensively, and now we have a foul shot.
Chavis shooting 1 and 1. This point forward. Hits the first. Thank you very much, Mr. Rim, as he makes the second. 55-37.
And again, we see the pressure, but everybody has to come up and play the pressure. Lynn Greer has to stop Jarett Kearse and let him in turn throw a pass that somebody can step in the passing lane and steal.
So what you're saying is Lynn Greer has to do something that nobody has been able to do in the public league.
Correct.
Stop Jarett Kearse.
Right. But when you're playing for the championship, you got to find a way to get it done.
Sims to Kearse as he goes down the lane. No basket. Greer buries that shoulder into him. They call the foul.
Well, that's the physical. I mean, that's the aggressiveness. That's what you need. Now, you've established in the mind of the referee that you're going to play a little more physical. So, therefore, they may give you an opportunity. We're going to see it right here. A little physical, a little push. So now, what you want to do the next time defensively, which is right now, you want to get right in close to Jarett Kearse.
Cooks with position in the paint. Backs it, can't get it to go. Sherrod Carroll fouls his man. And we'll go down the other end, shoot 1 and 1.
Well, Cooks should have let that go. See, he missed the shot, so he didn't have to worry about making up for it because you're leading by 18 points. So you can afford to miss because you're going to have an opportunity to come back and score the next time down.
5:30 remaining here in the fourth quarter. We'll take a look at that play once again. Cooks on the blocks.
Nice move. Nice reverse drop step. He missed the shot, but where he makes a mistake, he comes over the top to try to steal the pass as opposed to saying, I don't need that. Get back on defense. That's what the coach is saying. When you miss it, don't try to make up. Run. Run. Get to the defensive end.
What do you want
Help
him to
me.
do?
Run.
Thank you very much. I wasn't clear. I'm clear now. Again, 5:30 remaining as you see C.M. Brown, the only coach that the Engineers have had in the 17-year history of that high school. Prior to this year, they didn't have a boys or a girls team in a Final Four. Here they already have one champion, Sonny.
Yes, and it's great for the school. I grew up at 16th and Dauphin. I'm a North Philadelphia guy. And I used to go in that direction when I would be walking the neighborhood, cautiously because that's at Norris Street. When I was growing up, they had what they call a Norris Street gang, and you really couldn't go down there unless you knew somebody. I knew the Burns, Gussie Burns, who ran the gang, so I was all right. But that used to be an elementary school when they first built it and did not change over until then Congressman Bill Gray, who was also Reverend Bill Gray at Bright Hope Church, who is also the president of UNCF, which is the United Negro College Fund, and he was the one that championed to have engineer and science become a school, and that's what it is today.
Was Carver Elementary School. It is now Carver High School of Engineering and Science. They trail 55-37 as you see the clock ticking down here in the fourth quarter. Kennedy calling for the ball in the paint, but they push it back to Rasheem Sims.
Poise is what you want now for Gratz. See? You don't need turnovers.
What we just saw.
See, you don't have to rush. You're leading in the ball game. If you know how to open, you got to know how to close. So it's not how many more points you score now, it's how you use the clock and make good decisions.
Greer and the Engineers trying to close within 16 points. They trail by 18 now. Chavis strong. Kennedy, speaking of strong, with the rebound. His 12th rebound of the game.
Now, you talking about a player playing with confidence. he's got the big C, confidence on his side.
O'Connor, watched by Hawthorne, back to Sims.
Don't let them double up. Stay in a situation where you stay away from the double. That's what Gratz wants to do. They don't want to bring two defensive players in the same area.
Gratz has 4 seniors and a junior out there. They're poised, they're well-schooled, well-drilled. They know what Coach Bill Ellerby wants from them.
And it's a winning program. They know how to win.
Kearse just leaves it for Cooks, who puts it up softly off the glass and down.
That's the ideal way that you run it. That was a team concept all the way.
Lynn Greer. Kennedy winces a little bit. He knows it's his fault. That ball may or may not have gone. We'll never know because it's goaltending.
But I wouldn't have a problem with that. Ellerby's a little upset about it, but I don't have a problem with that because Kennedy has played so well for me today. I walk up to him and say, Steve, it's okay, buddy. I'll take that right now because what you've done for me is phenomenal. We're going to see it. He goes up, but he's just excited. He's just playing with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of zest, a lot of energy, a lot of confidence. He said, I can get it. That time he says, hey, goaltender.
Lynn Greer now with 15 points, closing in on 2,000 points. Sonny with the game high now to hand 17 points now. Do you go to Lynn Greer and try and get him to the 2,000 mark?
Yeah, but I don't think with the way that the defense has played him today that he can get the points that he needs. So you just need to go ahead and do what needs to be done within the context of the team.
Here's the 4 corners we talked about.
Now, see, they brought young players in, or fresh players, because Charlie Brown wanted some more energy and some fresh legs on the floor that can get out and be aggressive and even pick up a foul.
Darrell Brothers, number 22, out on the floor. We've got a couple other changes we'll sort out for you when we come back. We talked about Lynn Greer closing in on 2,000. There is the man, the Big Dipper.
The player that all other players are measured by, not only in the city of Philadelphia, but around the world, the Big Dipper. And what people don't know is that the little guy that's with him was with him all the time when he was growing up. That was the guard, Marty Hughes, who played with Wilt not only at Overbrook High School, but at Vine Memorial Church in the old Baptist League that we used to play against. Now you point, the guy under him, that's Marty Hughes.
That's right. And of course, Wilt, the only player in the public league history to score 2,000. Lynn Greer just needs 13 points with 3.5 left to go. Will he get it?
Looks like Gratz is trying to close out. They're opening the floor up, and they're playing with that poise, that step through the passing lane.
Greer almost with the steal. Kari McKee retrieves it to Kearse. Darrell Brothers watching Kearse. 5'6" against 6'6". I don't like that matchup.
Well, if you keep it low, you can't, you don't let them steal the ball. And that's what engineering science has to do. They have to be aggressive to the ball, and if you can't steal it, you're going to pick up some fouls, so you have to trade that for offensive opportunities. You can't afford to have Gratz hold the ball for 30 seconds, 40 seconds before they shoot or score against you.
3:12 remaining. Gratz leads it by 17. Kennedy and Cooks having great days. 11 for 18, 25 points and 22 rebounds combined. The 2 bookend big people for Gratz.
And the only thing that we said about him before the game was, you know, Gratz is going to have to rebound the ball and stop engineering science. We didn't realize that Kennedy and Cooks would step up and have a giant game.
Greer passing it up through the hands of his teammates, and the turnover. Kearse.
All right.
Good effort there by number 22, Darrell Brothers. O'Connor walked on the play.
In a hurry, going nowhere.
2:42
In a hurry,
remaining.
going nowhere.
That's right.
All you got to do, Marvin O'Connor, is catch the ball, read the floor, and then execute. Not to worry about scoring anymore. Not to worry about executing the play. And that comes with maturity. As he gets older, he'll understand that.
Kari McKee watching him. He doesn't care about records. Lynn Greer with the ball, tries the 3. Got it. 2:25 remaining. 16-point game.
And Lynn Greer's 3 points close. That's another opportunity. He stole it back. You got to get back. You got to get back. You got to attack defensively. Attack. You got him in the corner. Hey, almost had a steal.
Playing the passing lane.
Yes.
Chavis didn't get it.
3 guys, attack him.
Kearse.
Run. You got to run. There you go. I know you're tired. Run.
John Cox fouls.
You're young. You can run. Just keep running.
I know you're not talking to me.
Aren't you young? You're a young guy from Northeast. You're from Northeast after I was, Carl.
You know, I want to congratulate you, son. Here we are, 2:02 remaining. That's the first time you talked about my less than stellar career at Northeast High School. Thank you. Let's drop it right there.
Oh, no. You had a good career.
Lynn Greer now 10 points away from 2,000 with 2 minutes to go.
Well, you know, even to be thought of in that same category with the Wilt Chamberlain, first foul shot is missed, I think it's a compliment to a player like Lynn Greer. 57-43. O'Connor with the long rebound. Tries to settle it down, but there's Chavis all over Kearse. Kearse having no problem just taking his time coming up. Kearse does a nice job of walking the ball off the floor and using his size to ward off the defensive player. And then when they get close to him, he puts a baby dribble on the floor, which means that he gets smaller and the dribble becomes more ready tat-tat. We're going to see if we can find Bill Ellerby smiling along that Gratz bench as he empties it now. Not much company there as he brings in an entirely new team as the seniors go off. Steve Kennedy, Marvin O'Connor, Shateed Cooks, Kari McKee, the only junior, number 12 in that lot. Steve Kennedy in the corner addressing his fans. And you talk about some players who feel excited and elated, and also Coach Ellerby. You know, this public league championship has been eluding them in recent years, and finally they have one. And just from the players and Gratz and the neighborhood that it's from, it's just a great stimulator, and in an era when we need all the stimulation that we can for our young people in our communities. Bill Ellerby is going through some tough times as Lynn Greer pulls up, misses. Engineering and science with wholesale substitutions as well, but Lynn Greer is still out on the floor. Kearse, the only senior still in there, and he'll be coming out sooner than later. Did a nice job. Kearse came up the floor, realized that the game is over in terms of scoring, found a younger player to give him an opportunity to be able to go to the foul line and to be a part of what's going on. Kenny missed the foul shot. That's Kenyatta McKinney, a 5'11" sophomore in the game for the first time, missing the front end of that one-on-one. Marvin O'Connor and Steve Kennedy having some fun. The double bonus along the bench. See, what they found out, it was the double bonus, so he has 2 shots coming as opposed to the 1-and-1. On the 10th foul, you get that double bonus. Sonny, I got to point out this next move here. ENS getting ready to put in the smallest player in the public league, 5'2" freshman James Riley. My kind of guy. Reporting to the bench. Get him in there. Foul somebody. I want him in the game. You and me both. There's the foul. That's right. You tell him, sub. At the scorer's table, number 12 coming in. There he is, Little Penny. All 5'2" of them. The real Little Penny. The real Little Penny. James Riley. Yes. And it's nice because that's what high school sports is all about. Giving young people an opportunity to participate. And even though we're doing a championship game, young he looks. The reality is that it's about competing. I like it. He replaces William Chavis. Give him the ball. With 8 points and 6 rebounds. Give him the ball, Lynn. Greer run into by number 4, David Wright, a 5'9" sophomore who towers over Little Penny. Little Penny. Well, I was hoping he'd get into this. Yeah. You know, this is a thrill for him. And they have a chance to grow with the program. He's an underclassman. Let's hope. And one of the things that we haven't talked about is the tremendous academics that's at engineering and science. It's one of the real outstanding academic schools. Well, Lynn Greer is already qualified to play as a freshman if he so chooses, and John Chaney so chooses next year. We got other players who are honor roll students and math tutors. That's Jameel Hawthorne. And the other thing is, it shows that when you give youngsters a positive environment, a learning environment, a nurturing environment, that they can compete and be the best at what you want to be. That's what we need to do in our society more.
People are on their feet, especially the ENS side. 58.2 seconds. Lynn Greer will not join Wilt Chamberlain as a 2,000-point scorer.
Has anybody
Jarett
else?
Kearse, no, Jarett Kearse goes down the opposite end.
And don't forget, Wilt did it in 3 years. We could not play freshman ball in the era that we played in the 50s. Wilt graduated 1955.
Greer, 7 of 27, Sonny. Not a good night for him. 19 points and 4 rebounds.
All right, there he is.
There he is,
Riley.
Penny.
Yeah, go ahead. Help through the leg and everything. Get the ball back to him. Your teammates are freezing you out. I want the ball in his hand. Call timeout, Charlie Brown. No, but he looks good as he goes up. Ah! Somebody said, can he dunk? No, he can't dunk, but he looks good as he's going up.
17.2 seconds. Sonny's lost it momentarily. We'll get him back, folks.
What did I tell Charlie Brown about this? Charlie, why didn't you call timeout and get that ball around so he can
We'll
shoot?
get on him as soon as we're off the air. 13 seconds left. Jumper by Rasheed Sims. Final 10 seconds. This is a senior. He's not about to give it up. Oh. The foul on John Zimmerman, Robert Zimmerman, with 1.3 seconds left. Gratz is about to win the first time in the 4 years we've been doing these games here on Fox Philadelphia, Sonny. All due respect to Charlie Brown over on that ENS bench. Bill Ellerby has been through some awfully tough times, as Lynn Greer has been today. But today, Coach Ellerby is going to get his championship.
Yeah, but I think there's 2 ways you look at it. Don't forget, this is the 9th straight year that Gratz has been in. No other public school has been able to do that. So you can lose and score, but you can still win. And it's certainly great for Gratz and the supporters of Gratz to win this ball game, but they're a winning program regardless.
The pictures told a graphic story as the Bulldog supporters enjoy a celebration. 68-46, Simon Gratz has beaten Engineering and Science for the boys public league championship. You can see Kelly Greer, who brought the girls championship home for the Lady Engineers. Her brother Lynn made a hasty exit after a 7 for 27 performance from the floor today. Not what we expected from Lynn Greer, but there will be brighter days ahead, certainly for him. But for this Gratz program, it always seems that the sun shines on them.
Yes, but I think in the Greer household, the sun will shine sort of bright because Engineering and Science girls did win. So there is a winner in the household. And as we talked about earlier, they are family, so they can share in that. It's a disappointment for Lynn Greer. But I think in all reality, going into this ball game, Gratz was the favorite by far.
Absolutely.
And right from the start, they showed the dominance in terms of their strong rebounding and their strong ability to play defense.
One thing we really didn't stress here, and we have a moment here I'd like to bring it out, is that you saw some of these kids as sophomores. Sherrod Carroll, number 33, Purcell Coles, a freshman, number 22. Bill Ellerby says he moves right in to Marvin O'Connor's slot. You know, so it's a self-perpetuating entity, this Gratz program. There's some thought that goes into it long before they throw out that first basketball in the fall.
Well, it's no different than the legendary days of Overbrook High School, where when Wilt Chamberlain and Vince Miller and Marty Hughes and Jimmy Sadler and people like that moved out, then they had other people move in, Wayne Hightower, Ralph Hayward, Wally Jones, Walt Hazzard, Richie